I guess.
Well, here, I've got other certain things. Well, so are you, so I mean. So right, so today it's actually. Yes, since they're something finance is this thing, maybe it's very accessible number. It's a little bit of a modern. It's based on traditional things that have been. So it's really great. That's nice. That's just it almost like a camera, but it's good for the whole picture back. You know. Like, I'll never be more. Anything, every tough thing, I was like, it's not like everyone else is so like everyone's aligned. I mean, that makes like all back when things do. It's not like we can have that. So people get used to it when you keep the original message.
I know, I live over country. I actually live really close to no, I live right from
So when my family and I was there's a very state on the and I got those they don't think we have to use the level of here, so it's the bottom where they never had video, and then it's still
right, exactly. Yeah, there's like that. No, it's
Danny, I mean, did you notice, did you come up when we wrote also? Did you see my notes? If you want to know the first house, we would have wanted to have a. Okay, so this is something else. Yeah. I will say, yes. You guys just go there next week. I used to order it at work. Yeah.
We got a wrong side and a right side. So happy, you know.
Was actually
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. You're never so good. I offered that. Oh. I.
I'm sure.
He's fine.
Good.
He's great for sure.
Sam.
These are the racks he came out from when you. You can't be proud of someone else's. So maybe I just noticed in my head. Yeah, right. So I said, and that Yeah, I don't get so much.
Yeah, yeah.
There was really like next year. So I gave. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Oh, should not.
And both secondary currents, right?
Yeah, this one, they're not giving answers.
Okay.
It's so funny, I went in today working on like Quora, and you said she sound like she sounds great, I didn't come home and get it in my head, so on the first day. I wanted to hear it.
Okay. I think I got taller. Okay. After we finish with the dental cleaning, we will bring it. Okay, there we go. Let's begin tonight with a little Shalom Aleichem, okay? Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Page 5. Boachem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Baruch hu ni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seidhem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim Kadosh Baruch Hu. So on a weekend like this, where we have Alana being celebrated as in her transition to adulthood, that prayer takes on special meaning. So I know that Meg knows what I'm going to say. I don't know if anyone else knows, but you know the interpretation I love of Shalom Aleichem. Some say it's about welcoming angels in to celebrate Shabbat together, but there's a fantastic Hasidic interpretation that has to do with the bat mitzvah. And that is that Shalom Aleichem is secretly about inviting the souls into this world to become children and for us to become their parents. And so the interpretation goes like this. There are 4 verses, and Shalom Aleichem is 2 people falling in love, right? So that's Sam and Shoshana. So 2 people first, it's Shalom Aleichem. It's like, that first date, it's like, Shalom to you, do we want to have a second date? I just asked a couple earlier today, how do you know you want to have a second date? And they said, because we didn't want the first date to end. And I was like, that's a pretty good answer there, better than Rabbi could come up with. So Shalom Aleichem is 2 people falling in love. Boachem l'shalom is that their love extends and they invite from God a soul to come to them. And as you know, the Jewish tradition, there's this tradition that the soul of the child chooses its parents. So that parents in love are and in lovemaking, they are inviting in soul to join them to make family. And so Boachem l'shalom, come in peace. So then the child comes and there's baby naming, and then get to the 3rd verse. 3rd verse is Barchuni l'shalom, and the interpretation is that's the age of 13. The age is because now that you're transitioning to become an adult, instead of us blessing you, here's your rattle, here's, your preschool, here's your new this, is that now bless me in peace. You are now old enough that we adults receive your blessings because you're so capable and your talents are coming, like you're a blessing to us. And then Seidchem l'shalom is when it's time for them to go to college or go live on their own after college. It's packing them up to take them to their next home. And so we celebrate Barchuni l'shalom tonight. It's this special, special moment. We're going to do that first with the candle lighting and then with a few words. Let's start with the candle lighting. So I'm going to call up at this time Shoshana and Sam and Alana and Ari and Ezra to come forward. I got out a couple, stand right back here. Is everyone? I'm going to ask everyone to stand up. The candle lighting blessing, if you want, it's on page 4. And I'm not sure you need it. So we're going to ask you to light the candles. Yeah, you want to. Shall we go like this? 1, 2, 3. Let's do the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Elohim melech haolam asher tishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu ladlik ner shel Shabbat. May the light of this family just fill this weekend with beautiful blessings. Amen. We may be seated, and now it's my honor to call up Miriam and Charlie and Madeline and Richard at the same time, or should we wait for that? So I want to start with the presentation of the Talit.
I've never done this. I've never had a grandchild. No, well, not this one. These are my only grandchildren, so I've never done it.
To shut me out.
Yes,
First.
yes.
Many times.
Well, 3 anyway, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Well, I consider that many.
I think it's many too, yeah, okay,
Is there anything you'd like to say about?
Yes.
Talit right at this time?
yes. Hold this. Tonight, Grandpa Charlie and I give you this talit. It was woven by Joy Rosner, who has studied and sung Judaism all of her 83-year life so far. It is made for your size, for your color choices, and I hope its warm wool reminds you that lifelong engagement with Torah, which you will read tomorrow, will always be beautiful, fit you in your choices, and keep you warm.
The knots and fringes remind us of the 613 mitzvot. Rabbi Arnold Wolf, whose memory is a blessing, talked about living one's life with a walk down Jew Street. The street is paved with jewels among the ordinary cobblestones. Each jewel is a mitzvah, some very large and heavy, some tiny and beautiful. As you walk on the street of your life, you notice and try to pick up and carry these jewels. Some are easy, some are hard, and some are too heavy for you now, but may be easier to pick up later. Some you may never notice or be able to pick up. Some are: be holy, seek justice, love peace, honor your parents, feed the hungry, study daily, tell the truth, try to pick these jewels up, look at them closely, and grow from strength to strength.
Let's do a Shechianu together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'ehyanu v'kiyamanu v'yanu asma. Thank God who gives life. Thank God who gives us a chance to live a life. And thank God who delivers us to moments like this of new beginnings. Amen. Madeline and Richard.
This Shabbat and Bat Mitzvah is the culmination of devoted hours of study and your many talents, and you are an inspiration. Why take on these achievements and responsibilities of adult Jewish life? Let me tell you a story. Natan Sharansky was a mathematician who spent 9 years as a Soviet political prisoner for advocating for human and Jewish rights before he was freed in 1986 to leave Russia for Israel. He used his great sense of humor, playing chess in his head, and love from his family to survive prison. And he recently talked about the great needs of all humans for 2 special things: to belong and to be free. In my grandmotherly experience, Jewish tradition offers both. Throughout the world, you will belong where there's Jewish community, and you will find freedom in Jewish belonging. From its roots, Jewish tradition is built on questioning, and that is the soul of freedom. With boundless love and admiration, I hope you will treasure your Jewish roots, and as your great-grandmother Alice would say, Geh und gesund.
Lana, you know, I'm an evolutionary biologist, and these words belonging and freedom, we can also interpret them in terms of inheritance. You've inherited the Judaism and the traditions that make you part of this community and belong. And at the same time, the freedom, one form of freedom is creativity. And getting to know you as you've been growing up, I've never met anybody so creative at such a young age. Your artistry, your music, your theater, and that is the benefits of both belonging and having the freedom, is this inheritance, coupled with creativity. And so you have both going for you, and we love you so much.
And I think we need another Shechianu for you.
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu l'atzmanu. Thank you so much for choosing to start off this weekend with holiness and with bringing in the sanctity of Shabbat and the sanctity of Torah to add into the sanctity of family and our beautiful heritage. So we'll daven the service. It's not a very long service, and keep, sort of nurturing that light that will grow throughout this weekend into more Torah, more Shabbat, and more celebration. So the service begins on page 11 with L'chun Ranana and the Psalm of Arrival at this holy time. L'chun Ranana. Nariya l'tzor yishenu nekadma fana b'tohotam bizmirot nariya lo. We continue silently for the rest of 11 and most of 12. At the end of the psalm, God interrupts the poet, interrupts the psalmist to say, please do not complain for this Shabbat. For 40 years, the generation in the desert scared away my presence by complaining. So for 25 hours, for the next 25 hours, everything is meant to be. So Alana, it's not going to happen. But if you say a different word than is written in the Torah, that was meant to be. It's beautiful, beautiful voice from a beautiful soul. So for the next 25 hours, there's no complaint. There's nothing falling short. All the preparation was to try to make things, but that's life of the week. We try to make the world beautiful. We modify it. We do tikkun olam, but on Shabbat, we experience it as beautiful the way it is. And so everything is meant to be from this point on. We take God's warning seriously. Arba'im shana. Akut bedor, va'omar amto elevavim, behem lo yadu diracham, asher nishbati v'api, im yavon el menuchati. We continue, page 13. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai bachu shemo, basru miyom liyom yeshuato, sapru v'goyim kevodo bechol ha'amim niflotav. Ki gadol Adonai v'olal me'od norahu al kol Elohim. Each day is new and deserves a new song. We continue silently. Oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho. Lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot hevel b'tzedek, v'amin be'emunato. The Psalms before us, page 15 and forward, tell us that this connection that we have to nature and to everything being alive immediately connects us to God. But during the week and during times, injustice shields the divine harmony from our view. And like our ancestors, we need to reconnect with it. So on page 17, that we are able to sing out and join with the sounds of nature and their harmony, and to bring goodness into the world and kindness, and let it be revealed. That on page 18, that we know what kinds of artistic instruments we're bringing out, whether it's piano or music or guitar or just the sound of our voice or horns. And so that we join in, and that through our own creativity, we join with the creativity that imbues nature. And then we continue through on page 20 and 21 and 20 that says that even in the times of injustice, may we still hear the beautiful sounds of kindness and love and harmony emanating from God's throne. And that that's our faith, that is still there even in times when we don't feel it directly. And on Shabbat, we're going to connect with it, connect right through to that throne. And that takes us to page 23 for Lechadodi. Lechadodi likra kahala Pene Shabbat nekabela shamor v'zachor v'diborecha yishmianu el yuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem ol tiferet v'litila lechadodi likra kahala Pene Shabbat nekabela likrat Shabbat Lichu b'nehacha ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha so maaseh b'machshava hatechila lechadodi likra kahala Pene Shabbat nekabela mikdash melech Melucha kumitzei mitocha hafecha rav lach shevet be'emek abacha vehu yachamol alayich nigla lechadodi lihikra kahala pene Shabbat. Page 25. V'hayu limshisa shosa yifrachtu kol mivalayik yasisa layik Elohayik imsos chatan akahala lechadodi lihikra pene Shabbat nekavela yamin usmol Tifrotzi v'yet Adonai taritzi ayadish behem hartzi v'nismecha v'nagila lechadodi lihikra kahala penesh. Please rise and let's welcome the spirit of Shabbat. Bo'i v'shalom nateret ba'alam v'simcha We may be seated. So I just want everyone to take a moment to, now that we've invited in the Spirit of God, the Spirit of beauty, the Spirit of balance, just take a moment for a silent prayer to yourself. What balance, what beauty are you inviting into the Shabbat to experience? It takes us to the Shabbat Psalm 127. Mizmor shir, shir liyom HaShabbat. Mizmor shir, shir liyom HaShabbat. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, lehagid b'boker chastecha, v'emunatcha b'leilot. Mizmor shir, shir liyom HaShabbat. Mizmor shir, shir liyom HaShabbat. So I've got a question for Alana. I know she's I thought I had off on Friday night, but I got a question for you, which is in the Shabbat Psalm. And you guys may have remembered this from my audition in 2018. I talked about how much I love the beginning of this psalm, because it says that you show your kind of special way of being in this world with God in the way you wake up those in your house that get woken up, and in the way you put them to bed at night. That in the morning, you should be waking them up, not with the anger of the rabbi saying you're going to be late for school, but rather with kindness and love. And at night, you should put them to bed in a way that conveys emunah, that conveys an unbreakable connection, that conveys trust. So Alana, what's like wake up time in your house like? Like, what are your memories of like how your parents put you to bed and how they got you up in the mornings? And think positive thoughts. Like, do you have any like happy memories of like what it was like when they put you to sleep at night when you were little? Did they read stories or what was it like?
They would read stories, usually sing like 10 lullabies.
You got lullabies? I didn't get lullabies.
Still get to bed.
Really? And who gets you up in the morning?
Parents.
Yeah.
It can be stressful trying to get on. Well, I don't know. They just come. Well, actually, I don't know. They just come in and wake up, and I wake up. Well, sometimes I wake up.
They could be meaner about it. I mean, basically what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, that's true.
I hope that you have nothing I hope you have nothing, but good memories as you get older of those moments, because I really think that shows how we relate to God with what we summon in the morning. It's okay. As long as there's no bumping of the head on there, I'm just worried. But he's tough. Hope you only have good memories of those as you get older. You know, remembering being put to sleep at night. And I'm looking forward to the lullabies that you sing your kids to continue the family tradition. That takes us to the end of the psalm, which says that our young people grow up tall in the values of Judaism like cedars of Lebanon. And that takes us to the beginning of the Mariv service. The second half of the service begins on page 39A. Please rise for the beginning of Arvit on 39A. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. We may be seated. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam, asher bivaro ma'ariv haravim, v'chochma potech sharim. Umavir yom umevi laila, mavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamidim lo chalenu le'olam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv haravim. On page 40, we prepare for the Shema, which will be on the next page, and we do it by saying that, that we receive God's love by being given the wisdom of our tradition and by being given the ability to learn the ways the world operates. So it's when we learn that we feel love. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, ahavta Torah u'mitzvot u'kim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu v'shachveinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam v'ahem ki hem chayenu v'orech yameinu Yorech Yameinu Uvahem Nevge Yomam Valayla V'avatcha Atasir Mimenu Leolamim Baruch Ata Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Elohim Adonai 41. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ולישרת. We continue 42 and 43 silently, or the readings at the sides of the pages. Adonai Elohechem Emet. V'teinu miyad Elohim. Forty-four. Malchuto b'ratzon kiblu aleihem Moshe Miriam v'nei Israel l'chanosha b'simcha haraba v'yamru laham mi hamocha be'elim Adonai mi hamocha nedar b'kodesh Norati lo tosef Malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei yam lifnei Moshe ze'eli hanu v'yameru Adonai imlo le'olam va'ed v'ne'emar kifada Adonai Yaakov v'kol v'esak mimenu baruch ata Adonai ga'ah Yisrael. Let's read together on page 45. Let's wish everyone who is fearful tonight of destruction all around them, of being pursued by fear or hunger, lack of protection, depression, all the things that make us vulnerable at night. Let's wish that they have a protective protection put over them, a protective canopy from God that protects them from those things, because we wish everyone a good night on this night. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Please join me. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. And you, our God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem. Page 46. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat La'asot et ha-Shabbat V'dorotam berit olam Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz U'hayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinachon. In the middle of 46, we're ready to head into our silent standing time with God, or our own personal meditations and prayers, or the liturgy after the Chatzi Kaddish. And so I share a reading that I'd like to share at this time when we have a bat mitzvah young woman in our presence, preparing to read Torah tomorrow. So it comes from Wendy Mogul's book, Blessing of Skin Knee. And I think she was prescient when she wrote it. It must be already close to 20 years ago. For those, raise your hand if you know Wendy Mogul, because I'm assuming you do. Good. So now that I know some don't. So just really briefly, she was a child psychiatrist in Los Angeles who decided to take a year off and study Jewish texts for a year in LA. It's pretty easy to do. You have a lot of great resources, and every day she'd go to a different shiur. She went to Orthodox, Conservative, Reform. She went everywhere. She learned a lot, and she wrote a book on Jewish teachings combined with what she learned from her practice. One of the things that she learned from her practice was that, well, let's let her words speak for herself. Jewish wisdom holds that our children don't belong to us. They are both a loan and a gift from God, and the gift has strings attached. Our job is to raise our children to leave us. The children's job is to find their own path in life. If they stay carefully protected in the nest of the family, children will become weak, fearful, or feel too comfortable to want to leave. When we treat our children's lives like we're cruise ship directors who must get them to their destination, adulthood, and we must get them there smoothly without their feeling even the slightest bump or wave, we are depriving them. Those bumps are part of God's plan. If we overprotect them, we enslave them with our fears. If we give them the freedom to develop strength through overcoming difficulties, they will be with the Israelites who had the courage to leave Egypt. And that is our wish for them. And she adds to that, if you are a parent who is prone to worry about their children, especially when you give them the freedom to experience life's ups and downs, she said, when we express worry, our children come to see the world as overwhelming or even threatening. And therefore, we must practice the 20-minute rule. That's the limit of how much time per day we may worry about our child. We move on to our silent prayers. Yitkada v'yitkada shemiraba v'yamad ivrak pirate v'yamlich malchute. Please rise. Yeah, oh God. Yifara, Yishtavach, Yifar, Yishamam, Yinase, Yitata, Yitala, Yitala, Shmei Kudisha, the Eheva, Minkover Kata, Vishirata, Pages 47 to 52 in the language of your choice, or other readings on the sides of the pages, or your own personal prayers inviting in a conversation during Shabbat. And when we are finished our prayers, we may be seated, but no rush. Those still praying, please continue. The rest of us are on page 53. I know it says that recite this while standing, but it's my custom not to stand for it. And so that's our custom, but do whatever you feel is right. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa vayishpot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa Vayevarech Elohim et Yom Hashvi'i Vayekadesh oto Kivo Shabbat Mikol Melachto Kivo Shabbat Mikol Melachto Asher bara Elohim Asher bara Elohim la'asot Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Konei Shamayim v'Aaretz Magen Avot bidvaro Mechayim Eitim b'ma'amaro Ha'el HaKadosh she'ein kamohu Hameniach le'amo Yom Shabbat kodsho Kivam ratza lehaniach lahem Kivam ratza lehaniach lahem Lefanav navod b'yirav v'pachad V'nodeh lishmo b'chol yom tamid Me'on habrachot El hahodaot Adon HaShalom Mekadesh HaShabbat U'mvarech Shevi U'meniach B'kedusha V'amedu Shnei Oneg Zecher L'maaseh V'reishit. Will you read together in English with me on page 54? Our God and God of our ancestors, embrace our rest. Make us holy through your mitzvot, and let the Torah be our portion. Fill our lives with your goodness, and gladden us with your deliverance. Purify our hearts to serve you truly. Adonai, our God, lovingly and willingly grant that we inherit your holy Shabbat, that the people Israel who make your name holy may find rest on this day. Baruch atah Adonai, who makes Shabbat holy. Yikadav v'yikadash shemei Rabba, v'yalmad yibrak pirtei, v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedecho beit Yisrael, v'agalav izman kari v'imeru. Amen. Yehesh Rabba mevara, v'yalam ulam me'amayam. Yiparach v'ishtabach v'yipar v'yitramam v'yinaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha. Le'ela mikol berchata v'shirata, tishbkata v'nechemata, damiram v'yama v'imeru. Tikabal sloton v'aton d'cho Yisrael, kodam avon yishmaya v'imeru. Yehe shamar rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Oseh shalom b'mroma v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. We rise for Aleinu, page 56. Aleinu We may be seated. I'm going to read the yard sites for this week and those we're saying Kaddish for. And if I read a name that you're saying Kaddish for, will you please rise at that time? On this Shabbat, Beth Israel congregation remembers the yard sites of David Abramson, Selma Apple, Shmuel Karmi, Susan Chapnick, Dan Cahodes, Sonia Conway, Anna Dalitz, Rosalind Daskovsky, Shoshana Epstein, Jacob Eskin, Abraham Fair, Morris Fligiel, Isidore Friedman, Sam Gerber, Jenny Gerber, Henry Gershowitz, Abraham Gershowitz, William Gilman, Doris Goldberg, Robert Greenlee, Harold Grossman, Walter Kenneth Helton Sr., Betty Klein, Sam Lieber, Helen Lipovsky, Ruth Annette Marcus, Naomi Ruth Meislish, Gladys Miller, Evelyn Millman, Joseph Millman, Dorothy Morell, Robin Musket, Maxwell Pitkin, Marcel Pollack, Yetta Rush, Alan Seal, Mitzi Celine, Richard Singer, Ethel Siskin, Ida Spizizin, Carol Trainer Stein, Evelyn Steinborn, Fanny Stolarski, Sarah Sweetwine, Ralph Weil, Simon Wilder. As we continue to say Kaddish for Harvey Aaron Scher, Dottie Berman, Bonnie Weinstein, Sheldon Berry, Naomi Metter, Shoshana Bookwalter, Sybil Mintz, Jeffrey Aronson, Mimi Sunshine Karish, Evelyn Botkin, Sylvia Gordon, Isidore Fisher, Christine Reed, Harriet Celine, Frederick Reingold, Kevin Schiff, Seymour Konigsberg, Merle Goldwyn, Gwendolyn Shear, Barbara Altman, Sally Abelson, Gilbert Starosta, William Friedman, Yuval Warshai, Judith Elkin, Marianne Sachs Jacob, Alan Neil Weiss, Leah Axelrod, Helena Rabinovitz, and now Barbara George. And on this Shabbat, I'm also saying Kaddish for, I want to make sure I get these names right, for Drew Bennett, and for Bill and Frida Furkey, and for Nate and Betty Kalishman, and Gary and Jean Lenski, and Ann Lenski, and Arnie and Dolly Honig, and Artie and Alice Honig, along with all of those for whom we're saying the Kaddish tonight. And will you tell me who you're saying Kaddish? Okay. Yitgadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon u'v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'mizman kari v'imru amen. Yehe Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'ameh amaya. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yinaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei D'Kudesha Brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram di'ama v'imru, amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromah, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May their memories continue with blessings to this world. Let's close tonight with the final line of the Kaddish, and let's just sing it together. Oseh shalom b'mromah, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, v'al Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
May this be a beautiful Shabbat for all.